Hey guys, it's Ryu, and this could be my first and last North American CSGO week in review. What I'm going to do is walk through the various news items of the week and give you some thoughts and opinions and some color commentary on each, and as well as announce some of the events and things that you may have missed throughout the course of the week. So, first, we're going to start with Team Elevate this week has decided to drop Desi from their roster, and in his place, they have added Professor Chaos. Now, Desi has had a history of struggling to stay on a team for more than a season, especially recently. You can see here there's somewhere between 6 and 8 teams in the past 3 seasons that Desi has played for. Desi is a very good individual player, but from what I've been told, he's a very, very difficult teammate to play with. And there's a lot of personality conflict and clashing. I guess he goes on tilt and rages a lot. Um, no press release that I saw came out from Elevate other than to say they had dropped Desi and added Professor Chaos. But from what I was told behind the scenes, the little bit of what I described is what's unfortunately becoming a little bit of the reputation that Desi has. Very good individual player, very difficult teammate to play with. Hopefully Desi finds another top team because we need a good, talented player on the top teams in North America. It's just unfortunate that it continues to happen this way. So that said, Professor Chaos, good to see him competing again. He is back to the professional level. He did, if you guys remember, he was on Nylum before they added Semphis and Hiko in the NA Shuffle kind of roster swapping around. He's already played a couple of the matches for Elevate this season, and looks like he's had a decent run so far. So it's good to see Professor Chaos back. Best of luck to both Professor Chaos and Desi as they continue with their pursuits in CSGO. Also this week, CLG had some news. First of all, they announced via Twitter that they now have a gaming house. So this will be very interesting. I think a lot of the negative feedback towards these guys has been on how they play the game very individually and not very much as a team, not a lot of team chemistry or teamwork in general. It's very much aim dependent, go take a gun battle and play that really aggressive North American style that doesn't seem to hold up to the test of time and to the European teams at the top level. So moving in with your teammates forces you to be accountable. They can see when you're there practicing and when you're not. Very interested to see what this pumps out in terms of results for the CLG team. Other news from CLG, however, is they have finally announced JDM as their official fifth. As you can see here, he's been playing with those guys for about a month now. And they had announced that they kind of did this weird submit your resume if you want to play for our team thing a few weeks back. And it sounded like they were actually targeting a few players. I think Cadian was one. I can't remember who the other guy was in Europe. I don't know if those talks or negotiations or whatever have fallen through. And so they've named JDM as the official fifth by default, or if they just said, hey, he's playing well, he meshes well with the team, let's go ahead and add him. Either way, he's been playing fairly well for them so far this season. It's good to see that they finally have an official fifth, and hopefully they stick together, build some chemistry, and do great things for North America. In case you missed it from this weekend, if you browsed the black hole of the internet known as the CEVO website, the reason I'm pulling this up on HLTV is because I couldn't find the equivalent announcement on the CEVO website despite hosting the event. But that said, Team Liquid qualified for ESWC 2015 after beating Cloud9 2 maps out of 3 in a best-of-3 final. Now, I think during the event, Freakazoid was being DDoSed, so it was a really long, drawn-out, lot of Counter-Strike over that weekend. It wasn't exactly the clean and enjoyable from a spectator standpoint best of 3 we were hoping to see. It's a little unfortunate that that happened, but that's not to take anything away from Liquid. They showed up, played well, and again took 2 or 3 maps away from Cloud9. So best of luck to them at ESWC, and move on to the next item. Team Liquid, somewhat related. HTC announced an HTC Reborn event, $10,000 prize pool event this weekend. So this event is taking place the 6th and 7th, tomorrow and Sunday. It is the top North American teams. These are the teams that you're probably familiar with already. And it is again, $10,000 prize pot being casted by DDK and Black DDK, who I personally enjoy very much. I don't know if you guys are like me. James has a very dry British sense of humor, and I find it absolutely hilarious. So really looking forward to that this weekend. If you guys are going to be in a place where you can watch the event, obviously throw a lot of love and support towards the stream and towards HTC for sponsoring and running an event like this. And now, a moment of silence. Announced just 2 days ago, and in some way responsible for this video that you're watching right now, LP Kane posted that ESEA News will be no more. After a run of over 5 years, they have decided that the Counter-Strike world is now rightfully atop the world of esports, and there are many other sites, many other content producers that can put out similar content to what ESEA News was. They're going to continue to do a couple of the things they're doing that are more video and kind of show oriented, but by and large, this is the end of ESEA News. So light your candles. Moving on, Winout.net has announced a $20,000 CSGO tournament, and I think that this announcement may have gotten lost a little bit. So if you haven't seen or heard this, please pay attention. This was announced on Friday of last week, but I think it's important to bring it up because it kind of got buried. This is a LAN event. Now there's going to be 16 teams total. 12 are going to be invited. 4 will play in online qualifiers, and the teams that win are going to get a $500 travel stipend to be able to attend. So you'll see that there are 3 different online qualifiers, and this is a LAN event with first place receiving a $10,000 check. It will take place September 4th, 5th, and 6th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So if you haven't signed up, you can now. I believe the first qualifier has been posted. So if you want your team to be able to participate in the qualifier for a chance to make it to the LAN event, make sure you register soon. Also, the MSI iBuyPower Summer Qualifier number 2 registration is now open for it. Again, the SIVA website is like a black hole, man. Sometimes I send packets there, and I think they just get swallowed up by like the packet gobbler. But it's very, very difficult to understand a little bit of this. I couldn't figure out if the first qualifier was for ESWC and the second one is for this iBuyPower event, and then there's like a third set of dates for next weekend. But June 6th and 7th is tomorrow. I think today is the last day for you to register if you want to get in on this. So if you haven't already and your team would like to participate, please go and register today. This is the page for the iBuyPower Invitational for the summer. So this is different than the ESWC thing. You'll see the dates June 20th and 21st. You got a team list here. I'm not sure how many more slots there are going to be. Okay, so it looks like there's one winner of the MSI qualifier that will be able to attend this LAN with the other teams that have already been invited. So there we go. Kind of got some answers there, but still a little confused. In other news, the RGN qualifiers are still taking place. For those who didn't know, RGN hosted a series of events over the past couple months, and the teams that either won it or placed first or second in those events have been automatically invited to this next thing that RGN is doing. I don't know if league is the right term, but it's an RGN tournament, I guess we'll say. And to qualify for it, they had an open qualifier in North America, and we can see here what the bracket looks like. You can ignore the dates because the dates are terribly inaccurate, but it looks like we are down to upper bracket finals being between Ace Gaming and SKDC, SapphireKelowna.com. In the lower bracket, looks like next up we'll face the winner of Winout versus Leader 1. So we've got a couple more matches there. We should have somebody in the grand final in short order, being Ace Gaming or SKDC, and they will play either next up, Winout.net, or Leader 1, or maybe have a rematch against Ace Gaming or SKDC in the championship round. So that's going to continue to go on. I believe it's the winner of that qualifies for that RGN tournament I mentioned just a few moments ago. In regular league news, ESEA ESL Pro League, Cloud9 starting to distance themselves. I think this is looking like a very competitive season overall. But one thing we haven't had in a while in North America is a team that just absolutely separates itself from the rest of the pack. I'm hoping that Cloud9 with this new roster, with the time that they're putting in, kind of getting into the groove with the new players, building that team chemistry, as they continue to do what they've done at 13-2 right now, they can be that team that separates themselves, that looks at all the other teams from about 100 feet higher up, and that we can all pin our hopes and dreams on as the team that can go compete with the Europeans. Excuse me. That said, it looks like we're going to see a very heated battle for that fourth, maybe even that third slot. So top 4 teams from Europe, top 4 teams from North America, I believe, are still what qualified for the LAN event. And as you can see right there, there's it looks like 4 teams that are in that 8 or 9 win range. So that fourth seed, that fourth spot is going to be very hotly contested from the way this looks now. Really looking forward to seeing the rest of the season pan out. That was the news that I thought was mostly relevant. Now I'm going to click on something else. Some of you guys may laugh, but it seems to be really important. It looks like Summit bought a Nissan GTR. Now, all I will say about this is if you're going to spend 6 figures on a car, probably shouldn't be a Nissan. Now, I think the GTR is an amazing vehicle. It is super performance. It's a great track car. I'm just saying, if you give me 100 grand and told me to buy a car, it wouldn't say Nissan anywhere on the vehicle. Now, I will finish this with a quote for everyone. I think this quote is very relevant to North America right now, especially given some of the defensiveness that I've seen and the posturing that takes place. And the quote is, "A coach is someone who can give correction without causing resentment." Comes from John Wooden. I think he won 10 or 11 championships in NCAA basketball with UCLA. Very respected. I personally have a lot of respect for him as a leader, as a coach. And I think it's important when you deliver a message that the way you deliver it is considered just as much as what the message itself is. And by that, I mean, it's very easy to yell at someone if they do something wrong. But if they're the type of person that's going to snap and get defensive, you cause more harm than you do good delivering the message that way. So something to keep in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. I certainly, as always, appreciate any feedback that you guys may have, and I will see you next time.